Hi there, so welcome to the next video in the series. In this video I'm going to be talking about curses, sorcery, and as the Peruvians call it, brujeria. So what is a curse? So I feel that everybody has been an unconscious sorcerer at some point in their human experiences. So an unconscious sorcerer could be, as an example, let's say that my wife runs off with my brother and breaks my heart, and I may have thoughts that I hope they never find love again for the way they've treated me and the pain that I feel. And that could be fueled by the thoughts that I've had. When I stop having these thoughts, it would kind of stop fueling it, and these types of curses are not so powerful, and they cease to exist very quickly because the fuel is not really there. The other concept is, again, unconscious sorcerer. We could say be in the garden doing some gardening, like digging up the soil. And we could then put that thought form intention of the curse into the soil, and then the element of the earth could fuel the curse, which could last for much longer before the fuel burns out. And a lot of elemental beings are used in fueling spells, such as the element of earth, fire, water, and air. So stepping into the role of like a conscious sorcerer, someone that knows what they're doing, and I believe across all our lives that we've had in our incarnations on earth, that we have most likely all been a conscious sorcerer at some point on our path. I certainly know that I have, from all the past life curses I've been working through clearing. And so a conscious sorcerer would put an intention out there in a way they want to affect someone, and then they would be looking for a fuel to fuel that. And elemental beings are very good at this. As I said, thought forms are not so strong, but when we look at like the law of attraction and manifestation, for me it just seems a spell, because through vision boards and daily affirmations we are fueling that spell of receiving whatever it is in any given moment, which can overpower anything in resistance within us to gain whatever it is we desire. So there's one thing that I kind of believe doesn't exist, and everything else, I kind of feel like when we're talking about unicorns and mermaids and all of this kind of stuff, I believe that it's very real somewhere in a parallel reality, and everything was all created at the same time, and potentially there's no time in the spirit world, that we've chosen this illusion of time for this human experience. And so the only thing that I found that does not exist is non-existence, because it's full up of everything that does not exist. And the thing that wobbles out humanity more than anything is this concept of death. And one of my revelations from my guides was the reason that being, because we can't humanly perceive of something that does not exist. So my understanding is soul essence is eternal, and it shall always remain eternal. So the conscious sorcerers have become aware of this, and what they will do is they will kill and torture animals or humans and steal their essence to fuel the intentions of their curses. And as it's eternal, so is the curse. It's forever being fueled from that essence until we are drawn to a practitioner that can support us in clearing that, or we learn ourselves how to fully overcome it. so this is like the example of conscious sorcery, and it also touches into the other area I was talking about the possession area, depossession, spirit release, in a sense that so in a sense that through the side of torturing the animals or humans, it creates many fragmentations, more weak spots in the psyche to kind of layer the fuel of the curse and make it more challenging in working through it and clearing it. And like some curses that are created are kind of like part of a family or such, and they are handed down to the son through the generations, so that they will forever guard this curse and ensure that this family remain carrying this vibration to limit them and hold them back in alignment with whatever any given intent is. We teach on the course is to kind of go into when the curse was created, defuel all the fuel, and learn the story of why this happened and what unfolded, and then transform all those energies, so that we don't have to carry that vibration within us anymore. And then there's a more advanced method that I teach, which I've co-created with the plants, which is a very integrated practice of using a lot of the methods, the areas of these videos, in bringing about a kind of full healing to the life where these curses come from. It's quite uncommon to be cursed in this area, the second area I'm talking about, in current life, although it does happen, and I've had my fair share of those to work through, which has enabled me in co-creating with my guides a great practice and many modalities to empower others to overcome these energies. So I'm going to share a couple of examples of curses that I've carried, and the first example I'm going to share, it was awoken in 2016 when I did my first plant dieta, and it took close to 4 years before I fully cleared this teaching up, and now a similar teaching I can do in 20 minutes. So this teaching was, when I came back from the jungle, a friend of mine recognized this energy within me, and I was just thinking it was like a spirit teacher, such as like the attachments that I talked about in the depossession video. So she named this spirit the deceiver, because it was very deceiving in me seeing my truth. Although I could see that, I mean, this energy came through me and joined her, and I could see there was a lot of victimhood on her part, and a lot of blame and judgment on me, and then this person went round like telling my friends and people that I was a danger and not to hang around with me, which was quite a challenging teaching. And I went into the Akash to dig deeper into this teaching, and the Akash guides told me that this being had indeed sort of split off from me and joined 10 of my friends, and that was all it had joined, and there was no one else for it to work with. And that if I changed my intentions at the time, they were working towards people's highest good, which in itself is a judgment, that there's something inherently right or wrong, and I see everything as perfect for us to grow and evolve on this path. And so they said if I change my intention to work into people's greatest, highest potentials, then there is nothing I need to do. It's their karma, and leave them with it to figure out themselves. But I decided to change my intention in the way I was working and be of service and support my friends. So I supported 3 people in clearing this energy, and I cleared it from myself. And but my friend said that this energy remained within me, which it clearly didn't through all my discernment. So later on, I was doing some channeling, and I was made aware that this deceiver energy was actually me, and it was like a parallel version of me. And so that made sense why my friend said it hasn't left me, because it can't leave me if it is me, kind of thing. So in that moment, I renamed it Semaj, which is my name, James, backwards, which I felt was very fitting for the energy of the deceiver. And there was a few more issues where she told some of my loved ones not to hang around with me, which was a bit of a painful process to go through. But I just continued, just parked it for now. It's not with me, and just trusted that more will make sense as I go along on this path. And then I saw a Facebook post, and I was really magnetized into this post. And this post was from a group, a shamanic community that did a lot of work together as a group. And they shared that they had this spirit that had joined all the members of the group and was causing mayhem between them all. And I felt a connection there straight away. So I said I'd been through a similar experience and would love to be of service in any way. And the original person that put up the post, one of the other community members, posted on the group, and we arranged a time to talk. However, circumstances, the conversation never happened. And then I was just doing my daily healing work, but there was something just not right. And it was about a week before I became clear. But at the time, I was living with a friend who I trained, and one morning he just got up and just packed his bags and left. And another one of my friends just disappeared to Lima. And another one of my friends had come over, and we did some healing and did a ceremony. And I realized that he also had the Semaj vibration. And yeah, I was open to supporting him with that. And what I found out from this new shamanic group, they had an energy that went by the name of Kiru. And this vibration of Kiru joined me in the moment I energetically connected to the post. And once it joined me, it joined my friends who kind of ran away from me. So I then locked myself away in a cabin in Peru and drank some medicine and went into the story. And what I was shown was that it was a life of extraterrestrial origin. And these 10 friends of mine and some of the members of the shamanic community were part of this kind of organization, like this council. And they were at war with another star system. And I introduced them to Kiru, and I was part of this war council as well. And what we did with Kiru is we kind of weaponized her and transformed her into this cyborg, self-replicating weapon. So her soul essence would be replicated to fuel the curse-like weapons we were sending out to destroy our enemies. And in unraveling all this energy of hers that had been spat out all over the universe, was quite time-consuming. And with my guides, we brought all that energy back to her and then her children stepped forward, and the energy was able to transcend and leave. But once it was healed, I had it come back, and it's become a spirit guide of mine, which has taught me how to create tools within my psyche, self-replicating tools that kind of overcome any restrictions or blockages that may be placed in my neural pathways from unhealed energies bouncing around within me. So it's been very beneficial to have these skills of these teachers for other areas of my work. And then we went into like removing these energy resonances from the group. Now, what these energy resonances are, what I was taught, some people call them implants. I don't like the word implant. It's kind of quite fear-based. I've got an implant, like non-responsibility, like who's put this in me, done this to me. But what I learned from this nearly 4-year journey is that we cannot curse others without cursing ourselves. And so a portion of the curse vibration haunts us and stays within us. And that energy resonance within us is what can attract the rest of the fuel, which can awaken it and bring it to our attention, so we can resolve that karma once and for all and transcend it. So with the clearing of the fuel, I was given permission to clear it collectively for all of us. So I removed, with my plants, we've removed all of the energy resonances within the group. And I learned all the lessons from it. A lot of the lessons were around discernment and judgment, and the lack energy was being fueled within this vibration and taught from this teaching. It's something I wrote in my journal a couple of years ago now, so it's not fresh in my mind, the full story. But then in that moment, I was like, now I can go into the Samaj vibration and fully clear this. And what I was shown was Samaj felt a lot of guilt and shame for what had happened to Kiru. And they had some kind of soul connection, and he wanted to put it right. And so he went to the council to end this weaponization, and the council turned against him and then weaponized him. So this is the karma of the 10 people, that a portion of this would haunt them and attract that fuel to them until it was resolved. So in any given moment, I always feel it's good to maintain a higher awareness, to forever take responsibility and not step into victimhood, because in a place of victimhood and judgment, that vibration just fuels the unhealed energy within us. And some characteristics of these energies, so talking about the depossession area as well as curse area, like characteristics of an awoken kind of fuel or spirit within the psyche is ego inflation, control, fear, and judgment. And those 4 areas kind of, for me, always pinpoint towards a shadow's been awakening. And when it's awoken, it's weakening. And we're doing everything, we're being shown everything to overcome this. And then those 4 vibrations, if we're in them, those 4 areas, they just but fuel that unhealed energy. So it can be like taking 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. If we stay in that vibration of fueling these unhealed energies, and the more we fuel them, the more resistance we're met on our healing path. So the same with Samaj, we reclaimed all his essence and released all the energy resonances, received all the stories, and the teaching was fully complete. And so I spoke to the shamanic community and my friends, and it had left them all, and they were all feeling a massive shift and a complete change in their vibrations. And I see this type of energy is what some shamans call a multi-locational being that can be more than one place at once. But my understanding of that is what I've just explained, a karmatic tie and a haunting of the curse energy will create an allowance to allow an energy, a multi-locational energy to come in. So that's one story, and I'm going to share one more example. And so this example, I was training one of my friends, and in these modalities that I teach on the course, and as a lot of the time I teach small groups, just a couple of people, and we get the opportunity to go through all our karma and really come into alignment with our souls. And so this curse also was a multi-locational being. And in the beginning, the metaphor I was given was the name train track, because it was quite a tricky energy and discernment was being tested. And I would always see a train track, or like the train track wouldn't be clear, which would be showing me that it's not clear just yet. And so with this one, I believe there was 7 fuels, so 7 spirits fueling the curse. And in this past life, I was like a shaman. And what I learned to do in that life, I learned to travel across parallel lives, so across like past lives, future lives. And what I did is I went to the death point in my friend's lives, so his past lives. I went to the death point in 7 lives, and when he died, I stole his essence. And we have a deep connection. We have a life where he was my grandma, and I call him grandma, and he has these mannerisms of my grandma, and it always makes me like feel what's the word, shy, like when I see these mannerisms come through him. And so with that one, I had to travel to the 7 different lives and do the healing around those traumas that we had in those 7 different lives, and thus take back all the essence, all the fuel of the curse, and transcend it. And this curse was really holding him back in his life. He never was really in abundance, and since the release of this, everything has turned to magic for him, and he has successful business now, and just everything is flowing through. It's really beautiful to witness that within him. But getting to like the core of this, it was an extraterrestrial energy, and so like this extraterrestrial energy was like the boss of the energies, and it that guarded them all, and they all fueled together with this boss. And this boss was like a starseed child of mine that I was shown, who never got to meet me because my generic material was used to seed him. And so so we're having this kind of father-son relationship now. It's been healed and transcended, and it comes back to work with me. But the name train track is not really in resonance with him. And so in Peru, there's a sandwich me and grandma used to always eat, and we absolutely loved it. It was called a completo. So I had a naming ceremony, and the best sandwich in town has become the name of this starseed son, which is now called Completo. And he is one of my guides now. And I have many of these extraterrestrial guides that work with me and teach me. And I teach a lot about working with extraterrestrial energies. Maybe in another video later I'll go further into talking about that. So the next area to talk about is like brujeria, what they call it over in Peru, and energetic darts. So what an energetic dart is when they diet, they diet plants, and all plants have duality, dark and light, including Noirau. However, Noirau seems to have mastered itself. So the Noirau vibration sits in balance. It's kind of like untriggerable, as like an enlightened kind of tree. but all the other ones, through my experience thus far, are triggerable and can slip into the shadow side. So, so with this in mind, when people diet, like a path of a light worker can be up to 10 years with a lot of tests and challenges. And the path of sorcery, you can gain that kind of power in 3 months. And they say over here that the majority of sorcerers are failed light workers. They can't stick to the strict diet requirements and want power. And the plants will just give them all of that if they decide to go the dark side. So these plants will give the shamans energetic darts. Now, these darts like have a consciousness kind of their own, and they're vying for human blood. And most of the sorcerers can't control these darts, that they can just, if they have like an ill intent or bad thought against someone, bam, the dart just flies out and attacks. Now, my experience is that doesn't happen randomly. That will only happen through my experience, and it's only happened with me through karmatic ties with any given soul. So again, it's for me, it's to take responsibility for what's been sent my way. Why is this being sent my way? What beef do I have with this soul to work through and clear? And thus going into that and clearing everything, that soul sorcerer will not be attracted to attack me no more. So I don't give the sorcerers much credit for intelligence, because everything is just given for them. And I feel they're really borrowing the intelligence of the plants to do their bidding. They come up with the intention, and then they just send out the plants to fuel. Now, the dart vibrations are a real masterclass in guarding curses. And what I've recognized is the dart will come in. And how does the dart come in? I'm very inquisitive. I want to understand things fully and search to find all the answers in any given practice I'm in. So how this first dart, which was a Toei dart, entered my psyche was through the spirit of cocaine. And I was like through a diet. And I was like, I've never dieted cocaine. However, I abused cocaine for 20 years. And that relationship was very out of whack, very out of balance. And that was a weak spot within my psyche that the Toei dart used to gain access into my psyche. And I'm going to touch on this further and like Shatana practice when I share my Noirel story, because it was Noirel who taught me how to overcome this kind of stuff, as well as Marusa taught me a great deal as well within this area. So, what the dart does is, now darts can be quite simple to clear. A shaman with some very strong diets can just suck it out and release it. But I do not recommend anyone suck them out in any way. They can be viewed as dangerous. And I know at least 3 people that have died of cancer through messing around with Toei. And I know that can be a belief as well, but with the free will aspect of fragmentation, there's back doors for energies to become in agreement with parts of our psyche, regardless, in my experience, of our conscious beliefs, or our spell making, the manifestation law of attraction, dealing with a very powerful fuel such as Toei. Things can really change in how we work and our beliefs and such and such. That's one way. And I know how to do this. I've never done this, and it's not really something I'm drawn to doing. And the big question I have, which I haven't answered yet, is if the dart's removed, what's actually being done? Is it just a crutch, a bandage? Because does that automatically clear all the karma? Is it necessary to clear our karma with people that may attack us? These are questions for me to work through. But in the way I've been taught, because I'm quite attracted to doing my shadow work and learning from my soul connections and karmas currently, is that the dart acts like a big bad boss, and it's kind of like a protector. Now, not only is the dart a protector, it has empowerment guides. So I don't like the word protection. So it's like the toe is an empowerment guide for all of the energy within me that's in resonance with what it's searching for. Now, the dart would also have its own empowerment guides. They're shown as like birds and other beings. And as quick as I release a dart, the birds and beings just put it straight back in me. That's currently where I'm at with this practice. However, by going into all the past lives that I've had with any given sorcerer and clearing all the curses I put on them, clearing all the curses they put on me, like clearing all that karma between us in an integrated practice, thus there's no more attraction to attack me anymore. And then when I release the dart, it doesn't come back anymore. So that's kind of where I'm at in working with this practice at the moment. And it's quite an fascinating teaching I've been having the last year, which I'll share probably in a book one day, because it's a very, very long story involving at least 100 curses. So that's kind of like a little bit of my experience of the energetic dart side of things. And they practice love magic out here, and they see that as ethical. For me, it's not in alignment with my belief systems and how I choose to work. But they don't see that a problem here, and probably it works similar in a way to also like the law of manifestation. So one side, like love magic and positive spells, like attracting people into your shop and stuff like this, probably works in the same way as the law of attraction. But putting a spell on someone to fall in love with you, then like marrying them, and then when the fuel runs out, they could just be miserable and realize they don't love you. That's not really in alignment with me. Although for the people that are practicing this and attracting it, obviously there's some karmatic tie and teaching there for them. So again, there's nothing inherently right or wrong. Everything is just imperfect. Just that I'm choosing today how I prefer to co-create my personal reality with my guides and such and such and such. Yeah, there's much more I could share, and obviously the sorcerers over here can create curses through soul essence in the way I touched on earlier, but the plants are very powerful and very strong, and there's so much to learn, and every time I talk there's something new that comes through me. And what's coming through me now is that when we diet a plant, it becomes us and we become it. And so the essence of the plant and the essence of us are fueled together as one. So another reason why the plant curse vibrations are so powerful, maybe just, is because it's fueled not only with the plant essence but with our soul essence as well. So this could be another factor in why I'm perceiving that the plant vibration of curses is so powerful here in the Amazon, whereas using like the elemental beings in my past lives and I'm sure in the Western world just doesn't seem to have the same depth of power as what the sorcery does when doing dietas, and that revelation that just comes through, the infusing with human essence by it being emerging of the plants and trees. Just to let you know that on the training course that I'll be holding, there'll be none of this kind of stuff going on. And I will be teaching from my personal experience to empower you to overcome absolutely anything that your soul may attract to you. And that as an organization, we are here to forever fully support you and help you tailor your modalities to gain whatever it is you desire in your life. So thank you for listening.